Hey, we're live.
We are live!
Yay!
Yay! Speed Hump Wednesday. What's it? Mad
Speed
Hump?
hump.
Speed
Oh,
Hump?
hump day. Hump day.
Hump Day.
Hump day Wednesday. All right. Welcome to the Health Angle. The Health Angle is part of healthierlife.tv, and that's when we have this Facebook Live on a Wednesday. Today's title is 6 Reasons Your Athletic Performance May Be Lagging, Declining, however you want to word it. What I would say is that I use the words athletic performance, but obviously, if you're an elite athlete, that's fine. But if you're someone who just goes jogging, that's fine also. Okay, so it's your personal athletic performance. Okay, so yeah, just wanted to get into that. So Warren, what have you got any views about today at all?
Before we get onto your 6 tips, I want to give a couple of tips that do not count. And that's blaming the government, blaming the weather, and blaming COVID-19. Neither one of those count, or your spouse. Or your spouse.
Yeah,
you have to
and I promise not to talk about politics.
No, we don't talk about politics.
Or religion.
Well,
I'm joking.
Some people say being married is a religion.
Right. Okay. So let me ask you a general question now. Have you lost your mojo? Now, there's a similar question to that is, have you ever lost your mojo? So there's one for now and one for maybe a week or a year ago or a month ago. So, Warren, have you ever lost your mojo?
I have indeed lost my mojo. I did. And I've touched on it before in previous shows. When I was living in Dubai, I lost my mojo. I arrived in Dubai in 2006 full of mojo. I was, what's his name? That actor, that movie. The James Bond spoof movies, man. What's his name? When he went to go find his mojo.
Yeah. Johnny, what's his name?
Austin Powers.
Oh, Austin Powers. Oh, sorry, I was thinking of the British one.
So when I arrived, it is British, but when I arrived in Dubai in 2006, I was like Austin Powers. I had my mojo, and then I lost it after a few years. And yeah, it's not a nice experience, to be honest. It's not a nice experience at all.
And of course, the thing is, it can be various things. It can be you can lose your mojo just in one particular thing, or you can lose your mojo totally.
True.
Yeah.
It can. Because it can bump up on you quite quickly, before you realize it.
Yeah, that's right. You could have 2 or 3 things that cause you to lose your mojo, or it could be just one massive thing.
Yes, and either way, it's going to hit you hard. So yeah, beware of losing your mojo. Always keep hold of your mojo.
Yeah, keep a spare mojo in your cupboard. I think we only get one. I think we do. I don't know. So okay. So let's think about some of the reasons why you might lose your mojo. Before I get on to my things that are nothing really new, but so consider the usual suspects. I had it at the bottom of my notes, but I'll bring it up now, and that is a loss of mindset. What would you think could cause a loss of mindset?
Stress, anxiety, everyday pressures. It prevents you from focusing on those things that are important.
Yeah. I mean, pressure's a good one.
And in saying that, Paul, yesterday I was watching a TEDx talk about focus and about how do we know about how to focus? Because we've never been taught how to focus. Ever since we were children, our parents would say to us, focus.
I go to YouTube.
What's that?
I go to YouTube. That tells me everything.
Yeah, exactly. This was on YouTube. It was a TEDx talk on YouTube.
Oh yeah.
And it was done by a monk. A monk was doing the talk, and he was talking about
what monk?
Sandanani, I think his name is, or Sandana.
Oh yeah, I follow another one.
I
like monks. Yeah,
and
like modern day monks. They really are really good. No, The one I listen to is really good. So
all monks, I mean, all monks are very profound, but not many of them choose to be profound. Yeah. They don't know how to be public figures, and so to speak. Yeah, and that's why I listen to those that are, because they've kind of stepped out of their comfort zone in many cases to share their message with us mere mortals. But he was talking about focus. He was saying that we've never been shown how to be focused. We've never been taught how to focus. Ever since children, we've been told to focus on this, focus on that, focus on your schoolwork, focus on what I'm saying to you, but nobody ever taught us how to focus. However, we have been taught how to be distracted, and we do distraction very well. So this is a very vital point I want to add to your. But the mindset is, because it's not easy to stay focused.
Yeah, there's times when I've been focused, really, really straight down, crystal clear vision and all that, and but there are other times when I just can't focus. I think it depends on what's happening around you in your life. Just going to say a quick shout out to Stacey. Hi, Stacey.
Hello, Stacey. Hello, Stacey. Friend of Paul's. How are you?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. You said hi. Thank you.
Anyway, yes. So, right, let's get into this.
We are in it already. I thought we were already in it.
Well, yeah, I know. But okay. So, what's some of the things, just the heading purposes? There could be a million and one things, but I'm going to start at the back of this one and say things like medical issues, very important. Stress, nutrition, sleep, the usual suspect of hydration and things like that. It can be, when you lose your mojo, it could be something as simple as fluids. Because as it happened to me, I started hallucinating one weekend because I didn't have enough fluids. I didn't know what it was, but I sat down and thought about it, and became my own personal consultant, and I worked it out what it was. So a lot of times you can sort it out yourself if you're intelligent. Like most people are. They're more intelligent. We're all more intelligent than we think we are. Okay? But some people just don't employ it. So,
and also some people employ too much of a certain type of intelligence as well. They don't focus on, like, for example, like listening to your body. That's a form of intelligence.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's an understanding. If you can listen to your body, that's an understanding on a level that not many people listen to or take heed of. So that is.
Well, you say about not taking heed of it. I mean, basically, it all depends on desire and interest, whether you've got a strong feeling about something. If you've got a strong feeling about being fit, you will get fit. It's that simple. And it's the same as anything else, But anyway, so the thing I want to ask you is, we talk about mojo, but what is the mojo? I mean, it could be just losing your spark, You could be a person that loves being alive and, being vital and just having a bit of pizzazz. It could be anything, and there's not been many times I can say I've lost my mojo. Definitely.
Okay.
Right. But you do go into a little bit of a decline. You do go into a little bit of a rut, and I think the biggest thing is identifying it. If you can identify it, you can also choose the time that you can lift yourself out of that rut.
Yes.
Okay? Yeah, and bear in mind, especially for these people that listen to this, who have a business or they're dealing with a team or family or whatever, everybody's unique, everybody's different, and they will fall into that rut when they fall into it. And sometimes, you're just there for them when they come out, when they want to get the edge of the rut and pull themselves out, then they can resume what they were going to resume. Hi, Dave. How are you? Dave Ives. Good to see you. Good
Mr.
afternoon.
Afternoon, young man.
Yes. Now Dave's a man who's got it going.
He's got mojo. He's got an abundance of mojo.
If you want to learn, if you want to learn from anyone about getting your mojo and keeping it, He's the man.
Yeah.
Hang on a minute. Hang on. We've got the youngster Stacey. She's attacking us now about her age. Hang on, I've got to read it.
As you get older, you realize that you have to respect your mind and your body.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean,
true. But
when we're young,
Stacey, I teach children this. I teach kids this from a young age. When I have the opportunity to interact and engage with kids and teenagers, whatever, I teach them from a young age. Listen to what your body's telling you. Don't just think you're invincible. Yeah. Because if you can start doing that from a younger age, as you get older, man, the potential is what else?
Stacey, I know how old you are. You didn't have to say it. But since I'm nearly double your age, then you are a youngster, believe me. Right, okay, let's get into this. Let's get really into this now. Okay. Now, losing your mojo just doesn't happen to just elite athletes and people that like to perform. Now, Dave, you was a rugby player, and he had a serious injury which curtailed his career, but then he just moved on to something else, like we would all do. Okay, but it happens to everyone. Don't think you're going to be immune from things happening. So the things are: do you feel stale? Do you feel you need a change? Are you sluggish? Okay. Are you not bothering to do anything? Are you indifferent? These are all types of things that will affect your mojo. Now you have to understand that we are highly motivated. Okay. And we can teach you that. If anyone, is not motivated and that you want some coaching, we'll give it to you. And we would love to do that. So let's talk about my first little bits. And the first one is sleep. Okay. I think that's my first one. Yeah, lack of sleep. Okay, so we've got 6 reasons and 18 questions. Okay, so lack of sleep. And the 3 questions for this is, how many hours sleep do you get a night? Okay, now, it's very important. You choose for yourself. I would suggest between 7 and 9, but elite athletes probably need about 10. Okay.
Not necessarily 10 in one go either. Could be.
No. You can make it up with power naps as well.
Yeah.
But also, obviously, goes alongside with the amount of hours is the quality of a sleep as well.
Of course.
What's your quality sleep? I've had 6 hours a night, and it's been plenty. And I woke up refreshed and ready to rock and roll. I mean, but other times I've had 7 to 9. It depends on how your week goes. But that's one thing. And I suppose the last one, he's going to find it, is, can I increase the amount of time I sleep? Okay, they're important questions for you to answer yourself as whether you need it or not. Okay, but if you do, sorry, you're going to say something?
Yeah, I was just actually talking to somebody just today, a client of mine. I was talking to him today about sleep, and he sleeps 5-6 hours a day. He's a business owner. He's active. He runs. He cycles a lot, and this is why he's a client of mine, because of what he does partially, and he sleeps 5-6 hours a day. And for him, that's ample. I used to know a lady I worked with a lady in South Africa. She used to sleep 4 to 5 hours maximum a day. And she was a top end manager, athlete, you name it. She did it. Yeah. Some people just
there's a small percentage of people. They've obviously done studies. There's a small percentage of people that don't need 4, 5, 6 hours a night. I mean, that do so they can go by with 4, 5, 6 hours a night. Okay, anything over 6 hours, I'm okay. Okay, sometimes I do 8 hours, sometimes I do 7. But I try and go to bed at the same time every night. Again, I'm going over old stuff here, but that could be one of the things how you can lose your mojo. The next one is obviously nutrition, and you need to think about what you eat and the quality of food that you eat. It's not necessarily about the quantity. I suppose if you were stuck out somewhere in the middle of nowhere, then quantity is very, very important. Okay, because calories, when you're in that type of situation, calories do count.
Yeah.
Okay,
It doesn't really matter
and
what.
also, no, that's right. And it's, there's been too much over the years, really, of calories.
Oh, you mean
Okay,
too much? Too much.
Too much pressure put on people not to have
Yeah.
more than. I think if you're a woman, it was 1,200 calories a week or a day. Sorry, a day. And then for men, it was more. But that's assuming. But they're assuming that men work harder, and that's not the case, as we know. Okay, so maybe they've got their figures wrong, but you've got to find out what's right for you as well, haven't you? So,
well, those guidelines are old school. It's not that they've got the figures wrong; they're just old school thinking, way of thinking. It's kind of like a one size fits all scenario.
Yeah,
people.
Yeah,
that's what those figures are based on. You can't do it like that. Sorry, carry on. You're doing well.
No. Right. So am I eating the right kinds of foods for my energy? It's a question you should ask yourself. I've got most of mine worked out now. So I take supplements, but they're the right supplements.
Yes.
Okay. You can't live on supplements. They are an addition. Okay, because you won't, generally speaking, you won't get the synergy from the supplements, but they're a good add-on. So all right. So that was the question. Now, what was the second question? I've lost all my notes here. Am I getting enough? Go on.
Before you skip on to anything, you're talking about diet, and you say that you figured out what fruits work for you, carbohydrates, this kind of stuff. The easiest way for people, the most comprehensive way for people to know the answer is to do a test. Simple as that.
Absolutely, and that's basically how I got to what I did.
Yeah. Otherwise, you're just sucking your thumb and hoping the wind blows in your direction.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if you do a test, because even for us, like guys like yourself and myself, who listen to our bodies and understand our bodies, it works to some extent. It doesn't cover cover all the tick all the boxes. So you got to do a test of some kind to figure out exactly what works for you. If your nutrition is that important to you, it's imperative.
Yeah, and it isn't for a lot of people. It isn't an important thing, because they'll continue to eat what they eat and they're not prepared to look at anything else. But the other thing is, are you going to get it 100% right? No, you're not.
No.
Okay, except that you will not get it 100% right, but you can get reasonably close, definitely. So, right, the third question is, the second question was, am I getting enough calories? And the third question goes alongside it, and is, am I having too many calories? Okay. Again, this is something you got to figure out yourself. Now, we haven't got time on this call to sort anything out like that. Again, if you need any help, talk to us. We're quite happy to talk to people, all right, and guide. So it's all about tweaking. It always is. You've got to find what works for you and then go for it. Okay.
True.
Right. The number 3 was life stress. Now, life stress is a very important one. We all have different lives. Nobody really knows what goes on with an individual except that individual. What's stressful to you, Warren, may not be stressful to me, and vice versa for anyone else. I've dealt with some horrendous things in my life, and I just didn't find them stressful. I just didn't. No, and I'm not talking about PTSD or anything like that. But what I'm saying, you get horrible things happen within your job. And I didn't push. I pushed it inside once, but generally speaking, I didn't push it inside. I just dealt with it, understood it, let it go. Okay, don't take it home. Okay, I know others don't do that. Others, stack it. They stack. Okay, they keep stacking these things that happen to them, and it will come out sooner or later.
And this is something else that I watched yesterday as well, about how sometimes you deflect. So you try to protect yourself from the bad stuff that's coming, the stress, the whatever. and you try to protect your guard. So you try to deflect it, but what you're actually doing is, rather than just letting it pass through you, you're actually absorbing that into you, because you're not dealing with it in the moment. You're just pushing it down, and that causes you to lose your mojo in the long run, because it just stacks up one upon the next, upon the next, upon the next. So like you're saying, rather than just dealing with it and letting it go, you're actually just holding it, like, and those onion layers are just piling on one after the next.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I had a scenario in Jordan 2 years ago, where I was working with a colleague also from South Africa, ex-military woman, okay, many years in the military, intelligence division. Her and I working in the same company. We came under a lot of stress at one point, a lot of stress, and it was like safety and security stress. Okay. The way she dealt with it and the way I dealt with it were two very different ways. Because for me, I kind of just let it pass. I let it go through. I dealt with the situation as best as I could, and whatever I couldn't deal with, I just let it pass. I let it through, and I accepted it for what it was. For her, unfortunately, she took on a lot of that pressure, and she kept that pressure, and she made issues with that pressure, unfortunately. So yeah, it's two very different ways in which you can deal with it. But Paul, I just want to just go back to the nutrition as well.
Yeah.
You're talking about carbohydrates and things like that, and fruits and calories and so forth. I lost my mojo since I've been in Hungary as well. I lost my mojo at one point. When I got my fat intake right, my mojo came back in abundance.
That's huge.
When I got my good fat ratios, whatever you want to call it, okay? When I did that to myself, and I started adding more good fats into my diet and my nutrition plan, it just made a huge difference to my energy and my mojo. Really did.
Absolutely. I mean, you look. Again, going back to what they were saying a few years ago. I'm obviously not going to pick of the year or something, but they were saying about your fat intake. It's fat you got to cut. No, it's not fat. It's the type of fat you have. It's not. You still got to have. I think it's around about 35% fat. And yeah, I looked at, and I'm not talking about eating chips and things like that. I mean, I love chips, but I don't eat them very often. That's what I'm saying. So my fat is probably going to be, extra virgin olive oil. Because when you have a salad, I'm going to use that on it. It is important. I mean, I did have a period of time where I used to have full fat milk, but no, because I didn't eat a lot of fat in my diet. Okay, then you, because some people have the milk that has no fat in it. Well, that's no good for you. I'm sorry. It's a waste of time.
I totally agree with you. I didn't
drink a lot of milk when I had it, the full fat milk. Literally for tea, a little bit in tea, and a little bit of my porridge in the morning. That was it. Okay, but I enjoyed it so much better. Trust me, I'm fit.
Of course, it tastes creamy. But on a side note, none of us should be drinking milk in any case. None of us should be drinking dairy milk. Period.
Oh, why?
Yeah,
I like a little bit.
There's also a secret as to what's inside the milk, even if it's completely unpasteurized fresh milk. All right, that comes straight out of the cow's udder. There's something inside of that when I disclose to people what it is, they all go, ugh, and then very often people just stop drinking it altogether because it's But we don't need to, as adults. We do not need to be consuming it at all. It's not actually good for our bodies.
Dairy generally.
Well, it's particularly milk, but dairy in general, like certain cheeses, kefir, or natural yogurts, you can get away with that. Certain cheeses, natural yogurts you can get, but dairy products in general, you shouldn't even go anywhere near them. In all honesty, it's just not worth. I don't know where's that come from.
It's your bank manager.
That's
Okay, right. So what we got? Yeah, the next one. Oh, different set of notes here. My God, yes. Too much training again. Okay. Again, very, 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 very important. We did a show on it. When did it was very recently, wasn't it? Doing overtraining. So we won't go into it too much, but just consider it. Okay. Too much training. Now, what was the other thing I wanted to do? Right. So yeah, serious medical issues. Now, or you can get any medical issues really, because sometimes what happens when you're training, you get things happen to you, and some things you go, oh, I know what that is, and you just deal with it, and you know, and I spoke about this already on other things. I was building up my running, and I was, admittedly, some of the times it was hot, so I was trying to put it down to that, but I was struggling. I didn't have a pain in my chest, but it felt a little bit tight, and I was get a little bit concerned, and but I was kept stopping. Not kept stopping. I'd stop because I felt my heart rate go up, which is not, you know, it's not brilliant, but I couldn't breathe 100%. So, being not silly, I stopped straight away because I was being a little bit concerned, but I worked it out, and what it was the fact I should have been deep breathing. Okay, so now, and you pointed this out to me, although I already did it, was the fact about deep breathing when you're warming up, bringing in lots of oxygen. Okay, and then when I'm doing the running, let's say I'm doing three laps of 500 meters. I was doing 20 deep breaths actually on the run before each lap, or just when I started each lap. And I tell you what, it made life so easy. Okay, so I actually, because I took time to sort my own problem out, I would have gone to a doctor if I thought it was serious, but I wasn't 100% sure. So I thought, well, I'll try this first and see if it works. And it worked. Not had a problem since. Okay. Heart rate staying down as well. So it was all to do with oxygen.
Yeah.
So, so you can, but obviously the bottom line is you can, if you don't know what the underlying health issues are. If you're worried at all at any stage, you must go and see someone who knows what they're talking about. For the elite athlete, I was just going to say, for the elite athlete, they will have people that do certain things, right? So they already have these people in place. They know where to go. For us mere mortals, okay, we haven't got the availability. All we've got is a doctor, or going to the hospital. That's it. So never delay. If you really think there's something wrong, you're not one of these people who dreads everything. But if you're really then go and sort it out. Don't wait. Just go and sort it out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, very, very important. So, because it could be.
Do you remember Miguel Indurain?
Yes,
Spanish cyclist.
Spanish cyclist. Yeah. One kept winning the Tour de France many years ago.
Yeah, he won it. I think he won it 3 times. I think it was. No, actually more than that. Yeah, more than 3 times, but 5 times. He had a resting heart rate of 32 beats per minute.
Wow.
And they did a study on his lung capacity. His lung capacity was immense. So what you touched on is like the deep breathing and getting more oxygen in. That's ease things off. Okay. And this was it. I mean, he had immense lung capacity as an athlete. And his resting heart rate was 32 beats per minute. The lowest I've ever got my resting heart rate down to on a regular basis, not a one-off, but regular basis, is around 42 beats per minute. I would wake up in the morning.
I've got it just under 60. So I've been pretty even, and it's still probably, it's not now. It's probably about 67 now, maybe, because I'm getting on a bit. But it's still fairly good for my age, and
average for the average person is still pretty good. So just practice deep breathing on a regular basis, and that will help your performance as well. It'll help keep your mojo up. Practice deep breathing regularly. daily.
Okay, let me make sure I've got everything right. So it was lack of sleep, nutrition, life stress. What was the other one? Oh yeah, I mean, okay, yeah. The other one I missed out was asthma, because there is actually exercise-induced asthma. It can just be purely brought on by excess workload, and it's called EIA, exercise-induced asthma. And look, who knows what's going to happen to you when you go out for a walk, let alone going out for a run, you know. But be aware, get to know your body, because you are unique, right? Every day is going to be different. Some days you're going to feel good, some days you're going to feel bad, and you're going to have a lot of indifferent days or normal days, you know. So pay attention, be aware. So
just be conscious. Be conscious.
Yeah, be conscious of what's happening around you, you know, and with your body especially, and keep tweaking, keep trying different things all the time.
Because at the end of the day, if you're not conscious of what's going on around you, you're definitely going to lose your mojo, because something's going to slap you hard across the face before you realize it. Because that's what can happen when you lose your mojo. Something really bad can happen to your health. You know, it could be the indicators are not. The indicators are there, but you're not listening. You're not paying attention to it.
That's right. Yeah.
And all of a sudden,
I'll tell you, before we finish, I'll just tell you a little story. It's a very quick story. I was 2002, the 1st of January 2002, which is when the Euro came in. I was in. I can't remember the bloody place now. It's one of the Spanish islands, anyway. And I went out for a run.
Marbella,
You know, I was suffering from a lot of stress at that time. That's all I would say. You know, but suffering a lot of stress. I went out for a run, and I got to a road, and I looked right before going over a crossing in Spain. That should give you a clue.
Okay, that was the sun.
You should have looked left.
Yeah.
I should have looked left. And how this, I don't know if it's a lorry, it was more a van, I think, than it is. How this van screeched to a halt, I don't know. I'm surprised I'm still here. You know, and that's not being aware. It's not being aware of your surroundings. You've got to realise, you know, we know in the UK, you look right, left, right again, you know, and then you go. But over there, it's the other way around. So be aware where you are, you know, and so because it changes from minute to minute, day to day.
Yes.
So
moment to moment.
Okay, if you found this interesting, please share it. You know, like the video. What, already? Wow.
No, I mean, I found it interesting.
Oh, right. That's because you're on it, you see, that's why. So
I'm biased.
Right, sorry. All right. Look, go and have a fantastic day, or the rest of the day, wherever you are. And if you need anything, call us. And if you want to borrow any money,
if you don't need anything, call us.
Yeah, if you want to borrow any money, don't come here. If you need any help with your health, wellness, or fitness, please give us a shout. So have a fantastic day, and we will speak soon.
I would love to have a virtual coffee with one of you one day.
Yes, that'd be nice.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have tea. Look, can you see my look?
Police department. Oh, how quaint.
New York Police Department.
The New York Police Department.
All the police funding.